Roll call, please.
Mr. Stone. Here. Mr. Murdock. Dr. Johnson. Here. Mr. Schiefer. Here. Mrs. Stone.
Here. Would you all please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of May 21st, 2013?
So moved. Support.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Johnson. Yes. Mr. Schiefer. Yes. Mrs. Stone.
Yes.
Yes.
Any presentations to the board this evening, Kevin?
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's financial report dated May 31st, 2013?
So moved. Support.
Brian?
Good evening. Thank you for being here in attendance tonight. We'll keep this brief. Some of the exciting things to cover. First and foremost, want to update you on the solar project. We have Gary Corbin here to discuss later the solar plant project that's been in process for the last couple of months. Still in the final phase here of engineering, calculating loads, etc. Want to make sure that I'm clear and highlight the fact that this is a 25-year agreement. That seems to be the biggest obstacle to legal counsel as we move through the process. As long as you're comfortable with that and know that if we would exercise the right to get out of that early, there are substantial termination penalties with that. So just make sure that we're on the same boat with that. It's a 25-year agreement. Mr. Corbin has some figures and some things he can share with you to show the benefits of this. I just want to make sure you understand the position forward. Update you on the chiller situation at the elementary school. Unfortunately, both chillers failed within a week of each other. We are in process of ordering one of those at a cost of $80,000. I have filed an insurance claim, and for about the last 30 days I've been battling with them. Still no determination whether it's covered or not. A lot of finger pointing going on between the carrier and the insurance company at this point. Ultimately, will prevail. I just don't know to what extent at this point. We're working on air conditioning at this point, right before school starts, so we're well on top of that. Other than that, it's your typical year-end processing. You're going to have some items to approve here later, year-end appropriations and revenues, showing those up in and house next fiscal year. Questions?
One chiller gonna do it?
Yeah, I talked with Jake. We can limp by with one unit, which is what we originally had before the second one failed. He seems confident that it'll provide what's needed. It's going to have to run extensively for a week or two just to get the moisture out of the building from the humidity that's been building up with heating down. But it feels comfortable, so it's carried that it'll handle the load. It's not ideal, but we can get by with one, at least to start off. So we went ahead, authorized the purchase this week to get it moving, so we can have it done.
So is our plan eventually to get both?
Yeah, we're gonna, ultimately, the worst case scenario is we flip the bill for both. I'm just waiting to see how this plays out with the insurance company before we proceed with the second one. The first unit had 85% of the tubes were damaged. The second unit was just under 10%. There's some back and forth because they can cap some of these tubes right at that 10% increment and not have to replace. The first unit is clearly shot, so it's a total replacement on that one. So we're replacing that one at our expense right now, hoping for insurance reimbursement. Second one's gonna take a little bit more negotiation and some haggling. I'd like to see it replaced versus Band-Aid repair.
When one goes down, does that put an extra strain on the second one, result in a chance of failure, or in this case, a failure?
It could. I don't think it's gonna place any more load on it than it would. It can only process at the speed it can process, and that's way out of my realm. The carrier seems confident it'll handle what we need it to do. We'll have parts and labor warranty for a year on it, so if we get it in, something unfortunately happens, at least cover that.
But it's, can you give any explanations of why we're having issues with these?
No, and that's the big hang up. We've done an eddy current test, is where they run some signals through to see the copper tubes, what happened. Some of them ruptured, some of them literally bubbled. think at this point, what I've been told, there was a freeze up inside the system. They haven't determined what caused that. When this happened, the coolant mixed with the water, which creates acid evidently inside the system, and causes extensive damage to not only the chiller itself, but the compressor. So it was catastrophic failure. Freeze up's the most likely culprit at this point. Been interesting. Expensive.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. And we do have an addendum to the agenda this evening. We have a motion to approve the addendum to the agenda.
So moved. Support.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. And we'll go on to committee reports. Legislative report, Mr. Stone.
Thank you. Essentially, the state budget bill, House Bill 51, passed through the Senate. It's back in the House now. It's actually in, they call it conference committee. Essentially, whatever happened in the Senate with the bill, the House is not happy with, so they put it into this conference committee. Now, the interesting thing about that is our very own Representative Jeff McClain is a part of that committee. So if any of our administrators or teachers or anyone has comments, we have to direct ears to Jeff McClain to actually voice our opinions in that regard. That being said, the state budget bill still seems to just want to go back and forth. We have no idea really how it's going to look in the end. In other news, I guess, Maureen O'Connor, the Chief Justice of the Ohio Supreme Court, has commented in the Columbus Dispatch that school funding in Ohio is still unconstitutional and is waiting around, just like the rest of us, to see what the governor is going to do about that. That's our main thing.
20 years later, it's still unconstitutional. Thank you. Mr. Schiefer, athletics?
Just a couple things. If anybody's been by the athletic complex lately, you'll see it's, phase one's underway. It's kind of a mess out there, but, we have no visitors bleachers and the press box on the side's down. But rest assured, we're looking forward to everything being what it needs to be by the start of football season. So, second item is the athletic handbook, which will be for discussion this evening with the board, and Mr. Jeffrey is available if we have any questions for him. And finally, one of the more pleasurable things the board will have to do this evening is approve a new head girls basketball coach, and we look forward to that. So with that concludes my report.
Thank you. I really don't have a report this evening for Pioneer. It was business as usual for this time of year, so there wasn't really anything that stood out. Student achievement, Dr. Johnson?
No report.
And Mr. Martin is not here. We'll go to the superintendent's report.
President Stone, members of the board, I'd like to echo Mr. Schiefer's comments about our athletic complex is well on its way. There's been a few hiccups, but the bleachers and the lighting are the two safety issues that we had to take care of this year, and we're getting those taken care of. The light pole should be loaded next week, so you'll start to see the old wood poles be taken down and the new poles up. Just a reminder that all the project out there was no general fund money. It was all done with permanent improvement money. When we passed the bond issue at $500,000 maintenance, $500,000 PI was passed, and we didn't spend any of that money for 7 years. So that piled up along with some interest income from the bond issue, and so that's all the improvements out there are being done with donations because DE donated the lights and permanent improvement monies. So we're hoping that next week we're hoping the old lights come down, the new lights start to go up. Asphalt should be totally out of there within the next 2 weeks, and then the new asphalt, the new fencing will be completed. So, and other than that, I'll save the thunder for Bethany's hire. So I won't take up anybody else's time. So that ends my report.
Thank you. Okay. We will go ahead and go to personnel certified staff items then, Mr. Kimball.
President Snow, members of the board, it's my recommendation to approve items A through G, which also includes items E through G on the addendum under personnel certified staff section.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the personnel certified staff items?
So moved. Support.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Schieffer?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. Welcome, Bethany. I will go ahead, I know that, Mr. Jeffries, thank you, I was, lost that name right there.
Obviously, you want to call Adam and Bethany up here and just introduce them. Have them come up here. We'd like to welcome them to the Bucyrus community, and we hope it's a long partnership with our girls basketball program. We're really excited talking to Bethany. At the time we got to be shared with her, talking to her. I talked to her again today. She's really excited, and I think she's ready to hit the ground running. I want to congratulate her and once again welcome you to the community, and anything we can do to make you feel welcome, then so be it. Congratulations.
I'm very excited to get started and want to thank all of you guys for being so welcoming, for me coming in here. Can't wait to get started.
We got some Bucyrus gear too. Bucyrus gear down here.
That's why you know that. I know. Well, very little.
Yeah, this is what I think is important.
You said it. I know my role.
And all you young ladies that are in the audience today, you got a really good one, I'm telling you. You really did. And I'm glad we were able to do that for you. All right, we will go then to, oh, I'm sorry.
Well-
I didn't know you wanted to stay in.
Well, I just want to invite everybody, we have a very short meeting that's left, but at the end of that meeting, we do have cookies and punch, and I put enough weight on this summer, so you need to make sure you eat all those cookies, so I don't take any home. All right, so just stick around, and we probably have about just about 5 more minutes of the meeting left, and you can enjoy the cookies and punch and get a chance to congratulate Bethany. So, welcome.
Are you ready, Nick?
Yep.
All righty. We will go ahead and go to the personnel certified, or classified staff items.
President Snow, it's my recommendation to approve item A under the personnel classified staff section.
We have a motion to approve item A under personnel classified staff.
So moved. Support.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schieffer?
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. We'll go ahead and go to the business items.
President Snow, it's my recommendation that you approve, and the board approves items A through L under the business section of the agenda.
Thank you. We have a motion to accept the business items.
Support.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Schieffer?
Yes.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
It's probably a good time to take a few minutes to introduce Jerry Corbin from Solar Planet in reference to item J on our business. Jerry was going to take some time tonight to come up and just a few handouts for you, and if you guys have any questions on the solar project. But I thought I'd let me ask you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. As he had mentioned, we started talking April or so. It was still cold outside. At one time, first time Jake and I went up on the roof, I remember it was about 0. So maybe March, we started talking about a solar project with the Bucyrus schools. We're out of Columbus, Ohio. We've done about 20 megawatts of solar projects in and around the state right now. We're just finishing up a project this week at Beach City, which is over in Stark County near Wayne County. We're finishing a project next week in Wapakoneta. We have a project in West Jefferson, Gahanna, Centerburg, basically all around the state. And what we managed to do is go to schools and municipalities, and we have a business plan put together where, because of government incentives, we can bring solar to your school district, and it costs the district, there's no cash expense for the district. There's no risk, there's no cash involved, all that is on our part. And in return, then you guys have your own power plant on your roof. Instead of burning coal, it's burning sunlight. That electricity then goes into your utility room, into the same switch gear, into the same boxes that you have now. But it's burning solar power instead of coal power. And then when that power is not working, you're still under the grid and you're still getting AEP. So in return, we put up the project. We determined that you guys, by AEP standards, can hold about a little over 1 megawatt and still be okay with AEP. AEP won't allow you to overpower, because on days when it's really sunny, you're putting power back into the grid. AEP will not allow us to overpower on a regular and routine basis. So we have a fine line we have to walk with AEP. From our experience, and we're looking at your guys' loads and your profile, you guys can handle about 1 megawatt and still be okay with AEP. Your roof can handle about 650 kilowatts. So we're well within the parameters of AEP. And we've done some work here on your roof, done some work with Finnegan, looked at their engineering, looked at some structural stuff, and we think we can get about 650 kilowatts up on the roof there. So everything on that part looks good, the engineering part looks good. We're just waiting to get some final approvals and get through the PPA part, and then we can move forward.
Thing I found attractive when we first initially met, if we were to take the project on ourselves, we'd be looking at right around $9.8 million in capital outlay to do this ourselves. So in order to pull this off, I just don't think it would be economically feasible. And working with Solar Planet, the other key aspect that I like, they guarantee that our electric rate will never exceed. In fact, we're actually held below what we would pay with AEP. I don't foresee electric usage declining or going away, at least in my lifetime. So it was an attractive opportunity for zero capital outlay, locking in, guaranteed with what we can produce on our own roofs below market rates. So that's why we kicked the tires on this and ultimately brought it to the board for consideration and ultimately approved this evening.
That's good.
Any questions for Mr. Corbin at all?
Typically, when we have these conversations and we tell the Centerbrook School Board that we're going to invest $12 million in your school's infrastructure and it costs you guys nothing, typically the response is, what's the catch? You know, Mom says, it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, there's got to be a catch, there's got to be some fine print. You know, it is what it is real, we've had success, our business model works, and everyone wants to be green. Everyone has these green initiatives, and everyone wants to do phantom power, and they want to do all those things are great. But typically, the greener we want to be, the more expensive it is. And a solar project is very expensive. And if you go talk to Bill Mull, who's a superintendent at West Jefferson, he has the same issues that you guys have. I got to have pay to play. I can't afford new books. I can't afford to run my bus. They have all these budget constraints. But at the same time, their budgets are being tightened. If you guys remember 2 years ago now, when AEP came out with new rate increases in schools that took a 30% rate hike on their electric budgets, it was sort of a perfect storm for us. And those guys are all in the same boat as Mr. Cook and Mr. Kimmel, that we'd like to be green, but we can't spend $12 million. The first superintendent who steps up and says, we're going to be green, we're going to spend $12 million to do it. Unless he's at Oberlin or Yellow Springs, he's probably a one-term superintendent. So we were able to put our business model together to make this work, where we have a local financier, a local restaurateur in Columbus, who's Charlie from Charlie Subs. And he's able to take advantage of Treasury grant and depreciation and investment tax credits for this solar project, in which case then it's not really a tax refund, it's tax avoidance. So he's able to avoid paying taxes, he's investing in these solar projects, and in return then you guys will have cheaper electricity and you'll be green as well.
We're looking at a savings of about 30% on our electric usage. Return on a couple $1,000s in legal bills to shave 30% off is right now we're starting with the high school roof. We can come back in down the road. We have some concerns on the elementary roof.
We got, he mentioned this on the chillers. When we got on your, not to be offensive, but when we got on your elementary school roof, you guys have some issues going on there that, we don't wanna compound that.
We don't want to point fingers down the road.
That, you guys already have an issue there. The last thing we wanna sort of pile on there that now, it's your guys' fault because you have solar. And now we have something else involved. Yeah, we don't want to involve that. So once that gets resolved with, I don't know if you guys know that bubbling, we don't want to play that. So, the other roof is a new laminate. It's white. It's perfect. It's good for us. Nice sun exposure. And we like that project.
The other neat thing, in working with Jerry, that we were able to discuss and work out, and it's going to benefit not only the business side, but the academics. There's going to be a solar learning lab that the science classes can benefit from, students as well. So there's some other side benefits with this as well, on the educational side, that I think are unique and nobody around here offers.
That was easy.
Thanks, Jerry.
Okay, thanks, guys.
We had to make sure it wasn't too good to be true.
Yeah.
We had to go.
We did a lot of tire
I've had that, I get that a million times,
Yeah.
had that a million times, you know, what's the, they're turning the papers over, there's gotta be something on here, there's no way you're gonna, yeah.
I've talked to a lot of treasurers, Julio, Kahana, Alan Senberg. Alan's very conservative.
She is the stereotypical school treasurer with a tight bun on her head and a tight grip on her.
When I went through with Ellen and she was happy, I thought.
Checkbook and no way, I'm not doing it. She's, the stereotypical school treasurer.
Yeah, no, there will be no tight
No
bun
tight
here.
bun. He's got a tight bun.
Well, it depends on the funding that comes with it, maybe.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay,
thank
guys,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, roll call, please. We did?
Yeah.
All right, you know what? It's
It's all right.
summertime.
It's all right.
Thank you. Oh, shoot, we're discussion items. Okay, we got the athletic handbook, elementary handbook, and a proposal for an overnight girls' basketball trip already.
The first item, Mr. Jeffrey has a very minor change with the athletic handbook that he can probably summarize in 30 seconds.
It's just, we've had some issues, in particular at the middle school, with kids skipping detention to go to athletic practices or being thrown out of detention and going to athletic practices. So we've kind of put in there that it gives the coach the authority, which they had anyhow, but it's kind of putting something in writing so parents know that if they do have detention or any disciplinary infraction in the school, that they could be punished also, or some disciplinary action on the court, on the field, missing games, whatever. And by no means, it also says in there that if you have a detention, you cannot go to practice. It also says that. So if they have detention, even if they get thrown out or what have you, show up late and they're supposed to serve detention, they still cannot go to practice that day or a game if it conflicts with that practice time. That's really the only change I'm recommending. Everything else is, we've discussed that by the council.
You guys interested in going ahead and taking
That
care of
already
this
been run
evening?
through the athletic council too, so they had seen this before and approved the recommended switch. So if you guys are okay with it, we
We
can
can go ahead and take care of it today. Do you have a motion to approve the athletic handbook?
Support.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Schieffer?
Yes.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. And the elementary handbook?
Yes, earlier tonight you had approved the secondary handbook because they had theirs up for discussion last month. The same changes or updates occur in the elementary handbook, but I have Mr. Sauer speak to the type of changes that are in the handbook for tonight.
Like Mr. Kimball said, many of them are the same. Probably the biggest thing that's different is we took sexual harassment and bullying, that was one item in the code of conduct, and we split it up into two, especially with kindergarten through fifth graders. There's a big difference, and so we wanted to have the bullying separated away from the sexual harassment, and that's probably the biggest change in there.
rest of the changes are reflected in the date changes and the changes that are already been approved through the secondary handbook.
You guys feel comfortable approving that this evening also, or?
Absolutely.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the elementary handbook?
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Schieffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. We'll go to the girls' basketball camp overnight.
Well, back in April, we approved an overnight camp, ended up being canceled. And since we hired Coach Ginter on, her and Tom spoke this morning, or yesterday, actually, and requested that the overnight trip camp go back on the agenda. So this is a different camp than what we had approved earlier in the school year. And with your permission, we'd like to have you authorize that overnight trip tonight so that it frees them up in July to go to camp.
Okay.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Schieffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Any communications this evening? Mr. Kimber?
I'd just like to remind folks that our July board meeting had been moved off of the fourth Thursday and is now scheduled for Tuesday, July 30th, 7 p.m.
You're welcome. We kind of need our treasurer here. Yeah. Oh, you were?
That's right, yes.
Okay, we'll blame you.
Okay.
Any announcements? Okay.
Break.
Yes, we better do that before, okay, we're gonna go ahead and break here. Have some cookies and punch.